It's your boy, Cardinal Red, and we back for some more Ali Land boxing talk. So let's get it.
Yeah, we back for another one. Your boy Cardinal Red. This is Ali Land Boxing Talk. And the news this week is Manny Pacquiao is eyeing a fight with Vasyl Lomachenko. And this is big news, man. If he we all know that the fight with Lucas Matthysse is set for July 14th in Kuala Lumpur. So man, I can't wait for that one, but looks like Manny Pacquiao is trying to map out the rest of his career as far as already setting up what seems to be a big fight after the Matthysse fight. I was just scrolling through a few articles on the internet, and I found this one on, I believe this is SB Nation. And it's got a few good points in here. It says former welterweight titleist and future Hall of Famer Manny Pacquiao reaffirms that he's not walking away from the sport just yet. And while Pacquiao searches for a suitable fight date that will not interfere with his senatorial duties, reports are surfacing that his team is looking towards a fight against Vasyl Lomachenko. With talks already underway, Lomachenko is currently the reigning 130 lab champion or 130-pound champion at the moment. And although Pacquiao campaigns at 147, he's always been a small welterweight who's thought to be better suited at 140. That being the case, settling on a agreeable weight for these two fighters could prove to be a monumental task. And it goes on to say some more stuff about Manny Pacquiao being 39 years of age, and maybe he can't make it down to 135. But I heard Freddie Roach in an interview from another YouTube boxing analyst, and Freddie was saying that Manny kind of walks around 135, 140, and he would actually rather Manny fight at 135, 140 because that's his natural weight, and he feels like he's the strongest at 135, in between 135 and 140, which I feel like too. I feel like when people, I hear a lot of YouTube boxing analysts say that he's lost his punching power, and I don't feel like he's lost his punching. That's why he hasn't lost his speed to me. That's why everybody says he still got his speed, but he lost his punching power. But I don't believe he's lost his punching power. I just feel like when he moved up that far in weight, his punching power doesn't carry over 10 pounds. You know what I'm saying? It's not that's why when he fights such bigger guys, he just beats them up really bad. He's not really knocking them out, but he's hitting them so many times and surprising them from so many angles. It's like the power's still there, but he doesn't have the power to physically knock them out. But the power's there to mess their faces up, like which you everybody's witnessed over the past few Pacquiao fights of him fighting way bigger welterweights. But I feel like I kind of agree with Freddie Roach on that. As far as I feel like that's probably his walking around weight is probably between 135 and 140, and he puts on weight to make 147. That's why I think it's good that he's focusing on keeping Boo Boy as his trainer, because I think maybe half of his training camp might be not really focusing on putting on weight until the last few weeks, and maybe that's kind of throwing him off a little bit. So I feel like that's another good thing, but I don't feel like it would be a problem for Manny Pacquiao to make 140 or 135. I think he would easily make both of those weights, and I see some things coming in the future for Pacquiao as far as with this Matthysse fight coming up, and you can't really call this a warm up fight, but it is kind of a warm up fight for Lomachenko. You know, he's he's like a slightly bigger Lomachenko. You know, he doesn't move as fluently or have the exact skill set as Lomachenko, but he's like a bigger version of Lomo. And I feel like if Manny can make it through the Matthysse fight with a big knockout or a big stoppage, maybe he doesn't come out of the corner halfway through the fight or something. I think it would reinvigorate the fan base, and Manny Pacquiao can set this Lomachenko fight up for probably the fall of 2018. And I think Manny's got 3 more fights in him right now. I think he's eyeing for 3 more fights, and I think Matthysse is the first of the 3 fights, the 3 retirement fights for Manny Pacquiao. I think it would be Matthysse, in July. He makes it through that, then that sets up for the Vasyl Lomachenko fight in the fall, and then after that, I feel like there's a big fight coming in maybe May of 2019, and I mean a really big fight, and not who people think, not Terrence Crawford. I think there's still a bigger name out there that's lurking around in 2019 that Manny Pacquiao might, if he can make it through Matthysse and then Vasily. Man, that sets up some really big things in 2019. I think people are not even paying attention to that right now. The fact if Manny Pacquiao, 39 years old, could actually beat Matthysse, get that belt back, and then drop down, and then beat I believe is Vasily is he unified champion at one? No, he's the champ at 130. So if he can drop down and then regain that 130 belt, man, that sets up a big mega fight in the fall, around May of 2019 for Manny Pacquiao. So, but he has to focus on right now trying to get through Lucas Matthysse. You know what I'm saying? We're looking so far into the future. Lucas Matthysse is what's on his plate right now, and I hope he doesn't. Hope he's not overlooking, which I'm pretty sure he's not. He's focusing on doing his training camp in one spot, and he's got his camp all in order. He's not flip flopping on who he wants to be his trainer right now. He's sticking with what he said, and I like that, man. Manny Pacquiao got to be a little more decisive about what he wants to do. So I feel like right now Matthysse is the first, and then if he makes it through Matthysse in impressive fashion, then it sets up the Vasily fight, and that's a big fight, man. And we can't even look at Vasyl Lomachenko like just because Manny Pacquiao's fought at a higher rate, like Vasily's gonna be some type of pushover. Manny can just go down to 135 and walk through him like he used to do, guys. He will be a 40-year-old fighter by then, and people are saying he slipped, but the one thing that people are missing is nobody's ever said he's lost his speed. So if he still has his speed and he drops down to a natural weight, his punching power's back, because he's at his natural weight. This is a mega fight. This is one of 2 mega fights I see for Manny Pacquiao to end his career, which he deserves, man. As much as he's put in for people, he deserves to have these mega fights to end his career, and he deserves to get Manny Pacquiao promotions off to a good start with a couple of actually I would say 3 mega fights. Matthysse is not a pushover. Matthysse is a good fight. It's not as big as the Vasily fight would be, or the fight in May of 2019 that I'm gonna talk about her in a second. But man, if he gets through the Matthysse fight and then he makes it to the Vasily fight in the fall of 2018, and man, that's gonna be such a big fight. And Manny Pacquiao, he still has his speed. Vasily has his speed. It's gonna be whose power reigns truly supreme in that fight. Does Vasily really have the power to knock a Manny Pacquiao out at this level. You know what I'm saying? At this point in his career and at this level, or does Manny Pacquiao still have enough in his tank to drop down and run through a uh, a phenomenon? You know, Vasily is not an overhyped fighter to me. If it's anybody true in boxing, that's a pound for pound right now, I would have to give it to Lomachenko, man. Not Terrence Crawford, not Thurman, not not Spence, not Ward. It would have to go Lomachenko. Those guys are close seconds and thirds and fourths and fifths, but Lomo's he's special, man. He's a different type of animal. Like I said, this is gonna be a really, really interesting few months when it comes to Pacquiao's career, and I think these are the last probably 2 years, maybe year and a half of his career. It's winding down. It's coming to an end, but he's gonna give you some super duper exciting fights to close it out with. So now let's move on to this mega fight I'm thinking about for fall of 2019. Now I know everybody's gonna say this is never gonna happen, and Manny Pacquiao's old and he got mollywopped the first time or whatever. But if he can make it through Matthysse, then get a super fight with Lomachenko pay-per-view, and I believe this Matthysse fight is gonna be free on ESPN. It might be streamed on ESPN, but I believe it might end up being a free fight on ESPN. But if he makes it through that and can beat Lomachenko in impressive fashion, like with a knockout or a impressive technical knockout or something, why wouldn't a Floyd Mayweather retirement fight for both of them, mega fight, not be in the works for 2019? I need somebody to leave me some comments down below to let me know if you feel the same way I feel. If he can go through Matthysse, go through Lomachenko, would a mega fight be the way you would like to see both of them in their career? Would you like to see Mayweather Pacquiao to the retirement fight in 2019, May of 2019, Cinco de Mayo 2019? You know, would that be the perfect way to end both of those guys' careers? Because right now, all the talk is on, a lot of talk is on Floyd getting ambushed in Atlanta, but I've tried to avoid that topic. You know, I don't really like getting into the nonsense. But the other news is Conor McGregor going crazy, and then Floyd Mayweather supposedly fighting Conor McGregor in the octagon, which I in no way see happening. If it happens and Floyd don't get choked to death in the octagon, then it's fake. It's as fake as when he goes to the WWF. You know what I'm saying? I just can't. I wouldn't believe anything. You know, I wouldn't believe that's really gonna happen. But yeah, man. Would you like to see a mega fight, 2019? Cinco de Mayo, the retirement fight, Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather Jr., the rematch. I think it's going to happen. If Manny Pacquiao can somehow get through Matthysse, somehow get through Vasily in impressive fashion, and do the numbers that I know these fights. I know if he makes it through Matthysse and he gets the Vasily fight, it's going to do the numbers. You know, who's not going to want to watch that fight? That's going to be maybe one of the most entertaining fights of the last 10 years. There's been a lot of great fights. That would be a super entertaining fight right there. Those two tangling together would be beyond amazing. You know what I'm saying? With the speed and versatility and agility of Vasyl Lomachenko versus the speed, power, and all around awkward angles of Manny Pacquiao would just make for, man, the ultimate in boxing the ultimate in boxing just for the past 10 years, man. I know it's gonna be an action packed, intense. It's not gonna be a chess match. It's gonna be a bloodbath. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of fights I like, man. When two guys are willing to let their skill set show and put it all on the line. And the and I feel like if the only thing is I feel like with them if what does Vasily get out of beating him? I mean, where does he go after Manny? I guess he has to move up and try to fight guys like Terrence Crawford. If he fought Manny and beat Manny, maybe he would get to fight Mayweather in May of 2019. But I think Manny could get through both of these fights. I think Floyd would be willing to wait, the year and come back in 2019 for another $200 million to be able to retire off of. I do not see Floyd Mayweather getting in the octagon unless it's fake, unless it's gonna be some old WWF type of fake, let's get in here spar with each other type of fight. It's not gonna be a real fight because Mayweather's just not built for number one the weight difference. You know what I'm saying? They are about the same size, but it's weird. It's different in MMA. Mayweather's not built for that type of fighting. It would take at least a year for him to get prepared to just lose in MMA. I don't see that happening at all. But I do see him searching out some more money and a mega fight. And the only mega fights out there right now for him, as far as if he wanted to make a comeback and put it on pay-per-view, would be Floyd Mayweather versus Terrence Crawford. Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. Floyd Mayweather versus maybe Keith Thurman. Or I would say that's about it. Who else is left that Floyd can choose from that would people would actually watch it on pay-per-view? That's the thing. There's not too many names out there that are big enough. It's hard for Terrence Crawford to sell his own pay-per-view as good as he's supposed to be. He can't even, he's trying to use Manny Pacquiao to sell his pay-per-view. So, I don't see too many options as far as Floyd trying to, step back in the ring and say, I'm gonna just step in here with anybody and get $200 million again, or even $100 million, or even 75. I mean, who is out there who can draw in even $75 million, $100 million to even go with Floyd Mayweather? It's gonna get the views, but who is out there? People are actually gonna tune in and say, I want to, generate $100 million for Floyd Mayweather again to fight somebody we know is not qualified to beat him. There are a few people out there that are qualified to beat him, and I just named off the short list. Thurman, Crawford would give him a good fight. I don't know if he would beat him. I don't know if Thurman would beat him. Maybe Earl Spence Jr., Manny Pacquiao. Other than that, who else would generate the dollars to actually make that fight for Mayweather come to fruition, man, to actually end his boxing career? So, other than that, I don't see it playing out too many other ways. And believe me, if the Lomachenko fight actually happens, Bob Arum is gonna be a happy little old fish. So everybody likes to hate on Bob Arum, but you'll see him smiling, from cheek to cheek. And definitely if that Floyd Mayweather rematch comes to fruition in May 2019, Cinco de Mayo 2019, believe me, Bob Arum will have his hands in that in some type of way. I hope you guys enjoy it, man. This episode of Ali Land Boxing Talk, man. I'm trying to get these episodes out as fast as possible, but I'm gonna make sure I have some type of workout footage in there for you guys. Just to keep it, keep it fresh, and it keeps me healthy too, man. Keep me from getting lazy. So appreciate you guys once again for tuning in. Make sure you guys tune in July 14th, Kuala Lumpur, Manny Pacquiao versus Lucas Matthysse. Man, hopefully we get the Vasyl Lomachenko Manny Pacquiao fall fight in 2018, and then hopefully we get the super fight in 2019, Cinco de Mayo. Oh yeah.